Hey Ron, do you ever wonder if dreams have any meanings?
Probably not. If you don't focus up, though, you'll lose that Mario Party.
Mario Party? Oh no, this is a nightmare, isn't it? Do you ever think about dreams? I'm not talking about your future aspirations, I'm talking about your actual sleeping dreams. Dreams have a certain value to them. And in the series Eaternal Nocturnal, dreams have even more value to our main characters, both figuratively and literally. Eve is a chronic insomniac and fails to get a good night's sleep often. Dreaming means she finally gets sleep. Meanwhile, Day, our other main character, is a dream eater. Dreams are literally his food. It's how he gets a good night's rest. The literal side is pretty easy to see video Dan Wu. However, the figurative side is way more interesting because dreams provide an insight into people. And in Webtoon series, dreams provide great character arcs and interesting foreshadowing as well, which is our focus for today. We're looking at the dreams that we've seen and seeing the people on the other side. Now, it's not necessarily a stretch to think that these dreams mean something, mainly because of Day, our dream eater. Now, what a dream eater is still kind of a mystery. But there's seemingly a sleeping or dreaming world in the real world. Not just Day's dream eater form, but even other dream eaters who have given up on their physical form. And these shapeless blobs known as phantoms. When dream eaters eat dreams, which is a wild sentence, they seemingly go into a person's head, into the person's dream. Day talks in depth about some of the dreams and their meanings, like how the classic suddenly naked in public dream ties into people's insecurities, or how flying represents someone having a handle on life, or being chased by something usually means they're avoiding a problem. And that's kind of the problem. Day is so used to analyzing dreams that he's gotten bored of them. It's become predictable. Enter Eve. If you haven't read Eaternal Nocturnal or watched my previous video, give me watch time please. Eve is a chronic insomnia. She has difficulty getting any amount of sleep, and because of that, she has difficulty living a normal life. She can't keep jobs because of her disagreeable face, her lack of energy, and her nodding off during work. By the start of the series, she's been laid off from 3 jobs in the same year, and looking for a new line of work. If you haven't watched my last video, I attributed part of her chronic insomnia to stress, since I brought up the Sleep Foundation under the article, What Causes Insomnia, which states, common causes of insomnia include stress, an irregular sleep schedule, poor sleeping habits, mental health disorders like anxiety or depression, physical illnesses and pains, medication, neurological problems, and specific sleep disorders. And not to brag, but the author did link to that video in her Twitter, so there's a good chance that stress does have a good part to do with her chronic insomnia. And that stress is something we see often in the story. Stress with her life, with her future, with her parents and such. And that stress carries over into her dreams. The main dream we get to see is in episode 4 alongside her backstory. When Eve was younger, she wanted to become a singer. Maybe because it was the thing she loved the most in life. Maybe because music calmed her down. Maybe just because her singing was and still is incredibly good. But she, because of her parents, wanted to focus on more realistic things. Now, many people attribute this to toxic parents, and I kind of get it. We assume that parents should be supportive no matter what, because that's what good parents are, but that's not usually how it works. The author does explain that this is a pretty common scenario, for parents to push their children towards a stable and likely more successful or practical career path. And that's a direct quote. And I think the dream sequence here goes hand in hand. Remember, it's a dream. Don't get me wrong, it's still her backstory, but through the lens of dreaming. Certain things are hyperbole, purposely emphasized. Not because it's 100% how it happens, but because it's how Eve remembers it happening, how she feels like it happens. Like how her parents and everyone in the dream lacks eyes except for Eve. Or how certain words or sentences are emphasized. And how her child reflection gets cracked and shattered, replaced with a two-faced Eve, one screaming with no eyes, and one silent and sad with eyes. Eventually trying to mirror the makeup from the start of the episode but fails to, and is whisked away to the circus, in which she's walking on a tightrope with the song Beautiful Dreamer playing in the background, eventually falling off and being caught by Day. Wow, that sure was a lot, so let's go through this scene by scene. The intro sequence is mainly her backstory. Where things get interesting is right after it. The moment where Eve's child reflection gets cracked and broken. The child Eve here is smiling and happy, the same Eve from the beginning of the episode. Happy, innocent, looking forward to her future. But that childlike glee and happiness gets shattered and replaced with honestly a terrifying sight. A two-faced Eve. Like I pointed out, one face has no eyes, but is seemingly screaming, while the other face is sad, quiet, and with eyes looking down. Remember that in her backstory, the people other than Eve had no eyes, and it could be an artistic choice, which is a reason that could be used for this entire video, but it could also be a reminder that it's hyperbole, that this is a dream, specifically a nightmare based on her life. The lack of eyes could represent that Eve sees a side of her that wants to raise her voice, that wants to be loud, that wants to sing, as short-sighted, as someone who can't see what's right from wrong, as someone who can't see the future. Meanwhile, the other one might be sad, but she can see a future for herself. As the question echoes in the back of her mind, Eve, what do you want to be when you grow up? Meanwhile, she falls over, exclaiming that she can fix it, trying to put makeup back on like at the beginning of the chapter, wanting to go back to that happiness and innocence, but she fails and ends up on a tightrope walk. And as the ringmaster calls it, Eve and her balancing acts. This ringmaster being Eve's friend Cherry. I skipped over this, but it's quite important. Cherry is a popular YouTuber with 2 million subscribers. Girl, I wish. Anyways, due to an unfortunate coincidence, Cherry's subscribers accidentally thought Eve's singing was Cherry's, causing Cherry to ask Eve to be her shadow singer, to let her use Eve's voice. It will be a well-paying job that she could manage with her chronic insomnia, but it's still a bizarre job that causes her stress, represented by Cherry being the ringmaster here. Don't get me wrong, I'm not calling her the villain. Is this situation weird and bound to cause drama? Absolutely, that's like 80% of Webtoon series. But I think the author does a good job of showing human people. People who aren't entirely in the right. People who are just that, people. I don't think Eve is consciously blaming Cherry here. But there is a part of her that feels like Cherry is putting her on a balancing act, which is also likely the reason for Eve's most recent dream, on a boat without the ability to speak. The face value is the hint we get in the episode. Like the Little Mermaid, Eve traded away her voice, not for legs, but for a job, a stable one with income, one that she can't get fired from. But here, Eve looks up the meaning, that it may represent a struggle expressing yourself. Eve is slightly uncomfortable with this job. Granted, she may be doing something she really did love back in the day, and is getting enough money to support herself, but it's still a strange experience in which she has to lie to others. Not to mention, she still doesn't see this as a real job. Maybe as a result from her parents, she doesn't see singing as a possible career. And I really love this aspect of the webtoon. I love the visual aspect of this series. That these symbols, that these dreams actually mean something that we can all connect with. Don't you agree? That's all for today. Take care.